name is Maria Cardarelli, and I work with the Living Archives Project. Today is September 26, 2022. There are 247 cases of COVID-19 in Charlotte, Mecklenburg County, which is an 11% decrease over the last 2 weeks. Therefore, for the comfort of each subject, we are not wearing masks right now. Maria, would you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Maria Cardarelli. I'm the director here. Where I'm sitting now, I'm the director of Children of the World Learning Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. Yes, we are not wearing masks because I feel comfortable with that. I have a lot of vaccine on me, all over me, so I'm okay with that. And I'm glad to participate in this project.
Thank you so much, Miss Maria. We appreciate you spending time with us and sharing your story.
Thank you.
Would you like to just share a little bit about yourself? How long have you been in Charlotte?
Yes, I came to Charlotte in 1995. Wow. And Charlotte was the first city that I arrived. I never was in the state before. Okay. That was my first time to come to the United States. I was born in Venezuela, and I was raised between two countries, Venezuela and Italy, because my family is from Italy. So every single time that I had the opportunity to travel, I always went to my grandparents' farm in Italy. So that was my childhood and almost my teen years also. 1995, I came here to Charlotte by myself because my boyfriend at that time, because we weren't married at that moment, he was living here in Miami. He didn't like it. We had a friend in Charlotte, and so she invited him, and he said, you know what, it's time for us to do something in life together. So I came here by myself, no family, no friends, no anything. It was very hard, but since then we have been together. We have a daughter, the love of my life. She's 23 now, and was a very big impact to be in Charlotte, even if it was a nice place to live because it was a quiet city, a very new city. But I come from Caracas, and Caracas is like New York City, you know, so 24/7, art, music, everything. And Charlotte at 5 o'clock in the afternoon was shut down. And I was crying every single day because what I'm going to do in this little town. But different things happen. I have different opportunity. And I developed my sense of resilience. And I changed many things that I used to do in my country for a long time just to adjust to live in a different country with a different language, with different people around me. I have a background who helped me that because my country, Venezuela, it's a 75% probably. It's an immigrant country. And so I was living with Italian and Portuguese and from Spain and from Germany, from China. People around me always were from some different countries. So I knew exactly that I'm going to be now one of these people in a different country, and it was a very interesting experience. Not easy to digest the first years, but little by little, I'm here 7 years after.
Wow, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. And I bet your experience growing up with so many diverse cultures was something that kind of helped and benefited you in your role now.
Absolutely, 100%. Not just for the idea to have a second language immediately. My first language, it's Italian. So when I start school, I learned Spanish. And because I was in between two countries most of the time, we have some kind of international relationship with the school. So I always was in a bilingual school. Okay. Being in Italy or being in Venezuela. And yes, definitely it was about to learn different language and eat different food, dance different dances, hear different songs, different tradition, and was an incredible. My school was 100% diverse in so many levels. And that was a very good experience because my understanding on and respect for everybody on their own space was the way that I grew up. I grew up with my family. Was difficult for me to understand that those things are not real in this country. And I say, how? This is not the way that I envision United States. But I learned a lot about that. And yes, definitely my multicultural background helped me a lot. I have a group on WhatsApp that we say hello every single day with all my friends from kindergarten in my country, which we are now all over the world. And so, yes, I have a good morning at 4 o'clock in the morning and at 7 o'clock in the morning, stuff like that. But yes, that is that the way that all of us are. We are in some place for different reasons. And we have been sharing that situation, how this experience from our own family help us to adjust to any other places. Yes, definitely.
So how many languages do you speak, Miss Maria?
I always say 2 languages and 3/4 on another one because my English is not 100% good.
Stop it. Your English is wonderful.
My I speak Italian, Spanish, and English.
That's amazing. So here at the Learning Center, they speak how many languages as well?
We have at this moment Swahili, Spanish, English, Italian, French, Korean.
Wow.
Yes.
So very diverse.
Oh, yes.
I love that. And that really speaks to who you are as a person.
Yeah.
To really include that diversity.
Absolutely.
And the inclusion of diverse cultures.
Inclusion more than, inclusion mean, diversity mean inclusion. You know? It's impossible that they are detached. Yeah. Now we are working on equity so everybody can have.
Oh my gosh. So important. So before we started this time, we did a little activity.
Yes.
Would you like to just share a little bit about your hand map?
Yes. So first I have to put something about me in each of my fingers. And I define myself. I'm an educator. Okay. And education means many things for me, not just mean that you have the possibility to go to college and get an education. It's more than that. But definitely that was something that I learned from my family also because my mom, when she went to Venezuela, she just got 3rd grade of elementary school. And my dad, he had a 5th grade of elementary school. And they went to a country with a different language, totally different perspective from a little town in Italy. And they had the possibility to take 3 children to college and graduate 3 children. And that was always what we hear every single day. You have to study, you have to be somebody productive in life, and we are make sure that everything is done for you so you guys can do that. So education on the professional level is very important for me. But seeing how my parents adjust to another country, just with the basic level of education that they have, how they learn a second language and how they read and how they write and everything that they accomplish make me understand that education in life is so important. And so that way, and I learned that from them. So I define myself an educator because I think that everybody has the right to be prepared and to have something in life that make them best. I'm honest. I think I am. Sometimes I get in trouble for that, but I'm learning how to say things in a good way. So, and I always say that is something that comes from another experience. When I came to the state and I went to the supermarket, of course, nobody understand my English. And I always say, and I learned that at CPCC in one of my classes with a French professor who taught me English. And he said, always say that that you say excuse, and you say also that your English is not good, but you want to do your best. And so in every single conversation, I'm so sorry, my English is not good, but I'm going to do my best. So the same thing happened with the honesty on this day. I learned that is the other person know that my opinion or my thoughts or my feeling are coming from a good place. That is what is honesty for me. It's not to judge or not to make you feel bad. It's just because that is what I see and I want to communicate it, and that is honesty for me. I think I'm a kind person. I don't think I am a kind person. I learned that from my family too. I have so many things that my dad always say, that we always have to help everybody else. We always have to do things not for us. We have to feel good about ourselves and be the best of ourselves. But without sharing that goodness doesn't mean anything. That was his motto, his entire life. And so that's what I try to do all the time. I'm a kind person. I'm a person that wants to be the best. But if I'm not sharing that, I think I didn't do anything. So I'm a loving mother. I'm crazy about my daughter, and she's a 23 young lady. She just graduated last year from college, and she's an incredible human being, and absolutely, I love her. And what I learned the last few years, and I think COVID has put a lot of that on me, and so I can say that definition. I'm a calm person now. I can breathe. I can take my time. I can think a few things that are bothering me, but I'm not going to let them overwhelm me at the extreme. And yes, I'm a calm person too. So the lines which I have to define what it's important for me, the college, the professional level, of course, the motherhood. Those are some kind of milestone in my life that were very important. And I think that I'm a survivor too. I have few experience that shake my world at one point, but I'm here stronger than ever. So I can, yes, totally resilient. What I get it from COVID was the lot compassion, understanding, in a clean and organized house.
Okay.
I spent so much time there that clean. And also my feeling during that time was fear. Sometimes I felt alone, and that was one of my big things.
What does that mean for you?
My feeling, how I process it, I feel fear because when I don't know what is going to happen next, it's something that you definitely say, okay, I can't do anything. And so fear is because I didn't have the information, fear because I didn't know what to do to adjust the situation, to fix the situation, to help for everybody else. And alone because even if I was with my family at home, we still, I felt that without the possibility to hug people around me, to express my love and my and my care to them, made me feel absolutely alone. That has been always something that I don't have I don't have answer for that yet, but it's something that is bothering me, and this experience make me very close to see people dead. I lost families members, I lost friends, and so that was very close to me.
So sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine how difficult that was.
How was difficult, just because you can even move to say I'm sorry. You have to be where you are, and of course computers and phones and stuff like that, but it's not the way. It's not the way.
Mm-hmm. How did your life change during the COVID pandemic?
I have different up and down. When something happened, I think I'm in the model that I have to do something. We have to fix this. And because I had the possibility in some way to always be in some kind of leadership position, so I have to do. So we had the possibility, we were in school at that moment. That was March 2020, and was a lockdown of the school, but no lockdown, the in-person classes, but no lockdown of the school. So we overnight changed everything, and we start working with our families and children online and try to fix. And immediately, because the preschool is located in Central United Methodist Church, of course, immediately everybody was trying to help what we have to do around us. So I started working with these different programs that delivering food, which we still today, almost 3 years after, doing the same thing, once a week, twice a week. And what I saw at that moment is not just that people were absolutely scared and with different necessity. They arrived to the center. We asked them how many family members, how they are and stuff like that. But we have a lot of moms from the Latino community living in the area and go to the church, come to the church to get food and stuff like that. That they didn't know how to use the computer. They didn't have the hotspot on their phone. The children didn't have the iPad. It was a crazy situation. So while we're delivering food, I was on the street with my mask, with my gloves, and helping people. Okay, you have to do this and this and this and this. And that was hours and hours and lines, many lines on that. And so I have to do. So we have to help. At one point, when situation with COVID start having some kind of answers, which is part of the fear that everybody, and I was feeling, it was terrible to know what to do or what is best or what we have to do. But when we start having some answer that we have to isolate it, and we have to use the mask, and we have the possibility to have the vaccine and all that stuff. And I was with that energy to let everybody know that we have to get this, we have to do it. So the promotion, the information, to look for people, to make different programs with distance and everything. But you guys need to know that we can get out of this, and we have to work together to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. And so at one point, probably because I was working non-stop, I think this last 3 years, I have been working non-stop more than all these other years that I have been working in my life. Definitely, I start looking for a more response from the people. And when I see that they didn't pay attention, they didn't want to have the vaccine, that always was something different, that the rumor in the community that you can get this because the vaccine and you can get that, and listen and believe what people say and don't believe what science says. At one point, I tried to put that together and let the people understand we have to do this. Because it's, when we talk about pandemic, we talk about something that is happening in the planet. It's not just here. So it's real, because was some way to educate everybody that it's something that is real. And so I was full of energy to help. But at one point, when people didn't respond the way that I want, I was so mad. And I said, how is this happening? How? And I was say things to people on the street when they don't wear the mask, or when they stuff like that, just to make sure that everybody understand that we have to be part of the solution and not part of the problem. But things got better. We have the vaccine. We have so many days here doing I don't know, hours and hours of vaccine program, and we are where we are now. At least we know that we can talk without mask because we are protected, and but it wasn't a really easy journey.
Yeah.
Was not stable, definitely. I'm a strong person. Probably I have to put that too.
Yeah.
I need one more finger. I'm a strong person. I have that resilient capacity.
Yeah.
And I think that is what is keeping me
Yeah.
3 years after doing the same thing. It's yes, we have to do the campaign for the vaccine, and we have to do the campaign for the food, and we have, and I always have something to do about it.
Yeah.
But yes,
I mean, I can imagine that during the height of the pandemic, with the schools having to go, in isolation and everybody had to go home, I can imagine you having to juggle everything at the learning center, but also with your personal life. Like you said, you had a lot of things going on in your personal life. How did that feel for you during that time?
um, difficult. This is a personal experience. My daughter came home on March and for spring break that year, 2020, and we went to Miami to visiting uh, a family member, and that was Saturday 14, if I'm not wrong, when we came back to Charlotte, which was the weekend of the lockdown. We were lucky enough to come back home. But by Monday, she has to stay at home. She couldn't go back to college, which for her was a disaster because it was her senior year.
Oh my goodness.
And no, finished the junior and she started senior in August. So, but we got it that we were together until August. Of course, she said, I don't care what is happening, but I'm not going to spend my senior year at home, and I'm going to be careful and blah, blah, blah. So we went back to school, to college, and I don't know, probably that was a Thursday that I dropped her there, and by Wednesday next week, she already was sick. And that when they locked down several of college and stuff, was totally, I don't know how to describe the necessity to run and help her, but at the same time, my responsibility here at the preschool and with my job and everything else. And so I came to the school that day and I was telling what happened, that she was sick and we didn't have the vaccine at that point. So the only good thing that I was always have in my mind is that she's young, she doesn't smoke, so she's okay. She is a crazy exercise girl, so she's gonna she's gonna be better soon. Um, um, and one person, as soon as as this person knew about my situation with my daughter, this person said to me, but you cannot leave, you cannot go there, because if you go there, you are going to come back and let everybody sick around you. And so that was a big wall that I have in front of me, which was terrible. It's I never want to decide again between my daughters and another situation that is important, is priority in my life also, but not this case. So COVID made me feel guilty, made me feel that I couldn't help her, made me feel that something happened is going to be because I wasn't able to be there. This mixed feel that you don't even know what to do. So I prepare package that I deliver it with the post office every day with canned food and medicine, stuff for her fever and stuff like that. We spend night on FaceTime just to make sure that she was sleeping, and she was terrible. Was terrible. It was a very terrible experience. They were 4 of them in the apartment. Each one of them, they have their own place, room with bathroom and everything. So she was inside of her room, but one of her friends got sick also. So I was in contact with that mom too, and we made sure that everything was okay. 16 days after that, she was okay. She was able to get out and at least to her room because they were in the apartment. They had online classes. They couldn't go nowhere. And was a very difficult moment. And by that moment, also, I already have a couple of family members in Italy that they died with COVID. So it was a terrifying time.
I can't imagine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But my motto is I have to do something, so I can. I'm not going to sit down and cry and wait for whatever has to happen, better or not. So
your
working,
and just moving forward kind of helped you overcome
people
those
need me, people need food, and people need clothing, people need to know how to use the computer to be better with their children at school. So one after another that was my 24 hours model at that point.
Well, you're an amazing mom.
I love her. She's an amazing human being, which I'm very proud of. Yes, absolutely.
So we talked a little bit about the challenges, and can you maybe state 1 or 2 things that you felt like you gained from the pandemic? Because you talked about your strength and your resilience.
Yes, I think that renovated on one way, but yes, definitely. I think I gained compassion because after that up and down feeling that when everybody was not responding the way that I look inside of me and I found a place where I understood more than what I have to understand about people and accepting the difference on how to manage situation. And I put that feeling element on my background profession. I'm a psychologist. So was the necessity to break a little bit that objective distance that you need with your client and your patient, which I don't do that in the state because I don't have a license to do my profession. So that what I'm in a different field, but definitely open that kind of thinking, feeling, and actions that you have to hug somebody, you have to hold hands, and you have to cry with them no matter what. And which was something that was I think was very positive. And the recognition that we human, we are social people, that we need people around us, and how the isolation affect our mental health. It's a big coming out. That situation is making at least have more interest in what things are happening, because mental health is a reality. It's a reality, and was before COVID, and it's a big reality after COVID, which we have to measure.
And then you also said you got to organize your house a little bit because you were at home.
Yes. You know what? I definitely I did that many years ago when we bought the house, but that's another story. So if we have time, I can tell you. But I open all the cabinets and I open all the closet, and I see, do I really need this many glasses and this many cups and this many plates? No. And I need these special things. No, special is going to be every day for me. And we are 3 people, and probably we can have, 5 more people. So I'm going to have 8 plates when somebody else is gone, but no more than that. So I try to pull everything of things that I was accumulated, we can say, but wasn't like that. But I need the space.
Yeah.
I need the space to clean and organize, which is something that I always still doing before any test or anything in college. I have to clean my room before I start working on that. So definitely that was the moment. So yes, I have a very clean and organized house. I spend a lot of time on that at home, and keep those feeling that um, we don't need material things to be happy, and don't be attached to things because it's not taking me, at least in any good place. I was separated for so many, and in so many occasions, from family. From I remember when I came to the state. Of course, I cried because my family. I left my family behind, but I was crying because I have this huge library in my bedroom, and I had to leave all my books behind. And a couple of years after that, one of my niece studied the same career that I did, and so she used it, but I was crying just because I had to leave my books. And so that attachment situation changed totally when I came here. But at the same time, after COVID, more, because we have to live the moment, we have to live the present. And what I need today is what I'm going to have and use. And everything else has to be shared. Something that I don't use, probably somebody else need it.
Well, thank you so much for sharing this, Maria. As you know, I want to honor your time and respect your time. Do you have anything else that you want to share, a story or an experience before we end?
I think that the best story that I can share is that one day I was at Cosbury, one of the church that I are in this area, and I was delivering food that day, and I have my jacket with the hook, my mask, my glasses, and gloves and everything. So one car, there was a big line car, and one of the cars stopped, and I say hello. That was in Spanish because most of the family on that area was Latino family, and say hello, how you doing, guys? How many are at home? And so I start talking to them the normal question, and this person say to me, "Do you remember me?" And every time that somebody that I found outside say that, I always go back, oh, okay, probably it's from the preschool and blah, 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 because I have been so many years in this early education programs. And so, and then I always say, probably you tell me something, probably we met at the preschool. I say, but I don't remember your face now, and either your name. And she asked me, do you remember her? She had her daughter beside her. And I say, probably I met her when she was a little bit, but now she's 14, 15 years old. So we were start talking, and she say, I'm so and so, and are you Miss Maria? She asked me, and I say, yes. And I asked her, how you recognize me? I'm covered over. And she made my day, and I think she made my year, and she's still making. Every time that I don't feel good about something or about myself, I always go back to that story in my mind. And she said to me, Miss Maria, I never forget your voice.
Wow.
So yeah, that what Kobe gave it to me.
Beautiful testament to all the families that you have touched,
and
by all of your sacrifice too.
Yeah.
So
these are children that are college graduated now, working in different things, and I have a phone call last week from one of these girls. She's 23. She graduated with my daughter, and she asked me for help because her girlfriend need a job, and I say, yes, of course, let's see what we can do. So they still connected. They still know that Miss Maria is here.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's beautiful.
Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you, Miss Maria, for sharing your story with us and for everything that you do for everybody around you. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.